Before fire, how humans survived a world. Imagine this. You're starving. There's a dead zebra 50 feet away, half eaten by a lion who just wandered off. No fire, no knife, no fridge. Just you, your bare hands, and a piece of meat that's already started to rot in the African sun. Do you eat it? Your great, add about 100,000 more greats, grandparent did, and lived. Today, that same piece of meat could put you in a hospital bed within 6 hours. So what changed? Not the meat. Us.
Stick around, because the answer isn't early humans had iron stomachs. It's stranger than that. It's a story about bacteria, raw brains, rotten meat, and an immune system that's been quietly downgrading itself for 10,000 years. Before fire, there was no cooking, no boiling water, no charring meat until the bacteria gave up. So how did anyone survive scavenging raw carcasses, crawling with the same bugs that wreck your weekend today? Salmonella, E. coli, listeria, parasites? The honest answer? A lot of them probably didn't. Disease and infection were almost certainly major killers. But the ones who survived weren't lucky once. They were the product of a brutal, generations-long filter. And that filter built something modern medicine is only now starting to understand. And here's the twist. Some of our ancestors weren't just tolerating raw meat. They were eating it rotten, on purpose. Archaeologist John Speth spent years digging through historical records of hunter-gatherer groups around the world and found something that should turn your stomach. Traditional peoples observed by European explorers routinely ate putrid, fly-blown, days-old meat, raw or barely warmed, and reported no ill effects. Not occasionally, routinely. Speth's theory: growing up constantly exposed to microbes from infancy, not in a sanitized house with antibacterial soap, but in a world thick with bacteria, trains the gut microbiome to handle it. You're not born tough, you're raised tough, one exposure at a time, starting practically from birth. That's a gut check, literally. But it gets more interesting when you zoom out from individuals to entire populations. Here's where it gets wild. Scientists pulled ancient DNA from European skeletons spanning thousands of years, hunter-gatherers on one side, early farmers on the other, and compared how their immune systems were built to respond to infection. The farmers? Their bodies produce dramatically lower levels of inflammatory chemicals called cytokines when fighting disease, compared to the hunter-gatherers who came before them. Why would evolution turn the volume down on the immune response? Because turning it up too high can kill you just as fast as the infection. Think about COVID and the cytokine storms that hospitalized otherwise healthy people, their own immune system overreacting itself to death. Researchers believe something similar happened when farming packed humans into dense, dirty, disease-ridden settlements for the first time. The ones with overactive immune systems died from the overreaction. Their children, born to survivors, inherited a calmer, more efficient response. Population by population, humanity recalibrated. So if farmers were already adjusting 10,000 years ago, what does that say about us, living in homes you could perform surgery in? This is where your instinct lands somewhere true. It's not that Paleolithic Grug had some superhuman shield against salmonella. It's that Grug's whole life, from breast milk to first solid bite of scavenged meat, was one long bacterial boot camp. Constant low-grade exposure built tolerance, the way some kids who grow up around dogs and dirt have fewer allergies than kids raised in spotless apartments. Grug's gut bacteria were diverse, battle-tested, and primed. You, on the other hand, grew up in a post-sanitation world. Clean water, refrigeration, antibiotics. Your gut microbiome never had to fight a war, so
it doesn't know how.
The same dose of bacteria that barely registered with grug can knock you flat for a week or kill you. It's not that the threat got bigger, it's that we got softer. By design, because softer was safer in a world with clean food and modern medicine. You don't need a microbiome built for raw zebra liver when your dinner came shrink-wrapped from a regulated supply chain. But here's the catch nobody mentions. That toughness wasn't free. A body constantly fighting low-grade infections burns enormous energy on immune defense. Energy that can't go toward growth, reproduction, or just not starving. Early humans likely paid for their resilience in childhood mortality, stunted growth, and shortened lives. Sanitation didn't make us weak for no reason. It freed up biological resources that used to be spent just staying alive long enough to reproduce. So, in a strange way, your vulnerability to raw chicken is actually a receipt. Proof of the deal humanity made. Trade some old-world toughness for clean water, modern medicine, and a life expectancy that would have seemed like science fiction to grug. So, next time you're side-eyeing a slightly pink burger, remember, you're not weak. You're just the product of 10,000 years of humanity deciding that dying from cholera at 30 wasn't actually a fair price for raw meat tolerance. Grug would probably eat it anyway. You cook it through. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon.